guys, it's Brooke with SupertutorTV. So today what we're going to talk about is how to study and also have a life. So this is actually kind of based on a Quora post that I did a while back, but before we get too far into things, I want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our channel. All you have to do is click subscribe. It's really fun. I recommend it. And then the other thing I want you to do is go check out SupertutorTV.com if you happen to be prepping for any tests, like say the ACT, maybe the SAT. We've got tons of blog, roll, fun, and tips. We've got some free resources. We have like a free mini ACT prep course. So go check out SupertutorTV.com and then let's get into this video. If you are out there and you're like, gosh, I want to get really good grades, but I want to have a life too, like I hear you and I was totally there. So what I want to share with you today is some of the things that I learned over the years about that whole interplay and like, how do you do both? And how does it work? And what sacrifices do you have to make? The first thing that I want to talk about in terms of how students balance these things is you value studying and social time above sleep. Something's always got to give, right? You have study time, you have social time, and you have sleep time. And basically what it came down to, especially when I was in college and sometimes when I was in high school, if I had like a huge paper due the next day and I just wasn't done with it, well, then I wouldn't sleep and I would pull an all-nighter and I would do whatever it took to get the work done. Right? And the same thing with socializing. If, we had just done a big theater production and somebody was having a party at their house, I would stay out till 4 in the morning and like make memories and have a great time. But there is something that I didn't do, and that's that I didn't sleep. I think the other thing too about losing sleep, I don't know if you guys have ever like read those articles about CEOs and how they like sleep 5 hours a night and they're like super productive and things like that. My guess is that high school students who are both being social and studying, that's probably part of their secret too. So that's my first thought, is if you want to know how do people do it all, well, they're probably not always sleeping. Does that mean that losing sleep is the best solution at all times? Absolutely not. If you lose too much sleep, you're going to get emotionally unstable. It can increase your likelihood of getting sick. You might get the flu or something. There's all sorts of bad things that go with this. So you've got to be careful. You need to take care of yourself. At a certain point, you have to sleep. But when you're young and you can kind of get away with skimping on sleep to like do what you want, if it's what you want, that's one way to make it happen. Is it pretty? Probably not, but it's the truth. Number two, the second thing that I'll say about being able to play and study is I think it works better if your natural sense is that you have this sense of drive, meaning that you're very motivated to get stuff done and you're very motivated to study, but you're also very motivated to be social. If you don't have motivation to do those things, if it's not coming from inside of you, it's really hard to muster it up. Like if you want A's, but you really have no desire to study at all, it's gonna be really hard to like stay up till 2 in the morning and study when you need to study, right? The easier one of these two, if you're gonna have an inclination towards something and you wanna both play and study a lot, is the natural inclination towards studying is probably your best bet if you wanna try to do both, because eventually one of the two is gonna win. And if that thing is play, you will not always get an A. The third way that students play and study is they make concerted efforts to find balance. Regardless of which angle you're coming at things from, like the goal has to constantly be balance, right? If you want to both play and study, you've got to work at it. And that means being proactive. My inclination is to study, but I also love to be social. But the social part I've always had to work harder on, and I've known it. I remember there was one day at Stanford and it was like nearing finals and I'd been working on an honors thesis and I'd be holed in my room, like typing for like hours on end for like a week straight. And I desperately needed to get out and hang out with somebody. I knocked on the doors of 22 people until I found one person who would hang out with me. And this is on a college campus, by the way, which is like kind of crazy. But my point is that, I had to make a concerted effort. You treat it like anything else that's important to you. You have to set goals and be organized and plan so that you can make it happen and not just expect it to come to you. Whatever it is that your inclination is, choose to do the other thing in a very concerted way. Schedule it out for yourself. And I think you're going to find that you have a little bit more success in finding that balance. The fourth secret of people who are able to both play and study is that they are efficient. The idea here is like, if you want to play and you want to study, you've got to use your time effectively. You've got to be efficient. You can't be checking your Facebook every 3 minutes or your Instagram every 3 minutes while you're trying to do homework. If you've got your cell phone, you've got to turn it off and like put it away and get it completely out so that the time that you spend studying, the time that you spend doing things, you're actually getting it done. And it's that sort of work hard, play hard mentality. When you're out hanging out with people, go hang out with people. And when you're home and you're trying to get things done, get done what you need to get done. I try to be efficient in the way that I study. I know for me, speed reading kind of like saved my social life in college because I wanted to go out and I wanted to hang out with friends, and I would like have like 500 or 600 pages of reading a night. And there is no way that I could have survived some of my humanities classes if I didn't learn how to read faster. Some of it was learning how to skim better. Some of it was learning how to just manage the material and things like that. But learning how to speed read and learning how to like speed up my process and manage information better helped me to still maintain face in my classes, and I could go hang out with my friends. So that was huge. And there's other ways of efficiency. You can use mnemonics when you learn vocabulary so you don't have to study them for as long. I've used audiobooks before. The point is that you do what works. You figure out, how do I get through the material? How do I make it happen? How do I do what I need to do to get the grade? You know, a lot of people work hard, but high achieving social people work strategically. And that's the point. The last point that I want to make too about top students playing and studying is you have to just recognize the illusion. Like, nobody's perfect, and nobody's going to be the most social person on the planet and like the most brilliant person on the planet at the same time. You're going to be your own unique blend of these ideas, and you've got to figure out what that balance is for you, and you've got to also understand that there's going to be some struggle to it. And that's what life's about. It's figuring out, what do I care about and how do I orient my life so that I spend my time in a way that reflects those values. That's what this stuff is all about. So I hope that was kind of interesting for you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time on SupertutorTV. Ciao, ciao for now.